Hello, everyone. This is Maria, Inspiring Human Potential, Inner Growth Content Creator and Podcast Host. We are here for our weekly Roundup Monday motivation for the Inspiring Human Potential community and anybody who has perhaps never tuned into the podcast episodes or any of the content. This is basically where I get to share three main takeaways for the listeners and even again those who have not listened. Takeaways that support your inner growth, your personal development, a journey of self discovery that includes always neutrality and unconditional love so that you can achieve the expanded, amazing version of you because we deal with everything that comes as a conflict in a way that your human body, heart, and mind they can approach it with flow, is essentially what you get to develop as you pursue this type of mindset, journey, and lifestyle. So, hopefully, that was good enough for, again, the new listeners. My regular listeners, you guys already know. And we'll be moving on with the summary and those main takeaways from last week's episodes. We discussed emotional ego relationships, meaning those areas that the ego self will react with specific emotions that create a non-flow state. So we talked about loss, sadness, dealing with lies. We talked about arrogance. Those are all things you can deal with if you approach them with love towards the ego self in a way that pursues what you do want. So arrogance becomes confidence. Loss becomes something you cherish. The lies becomes information on other people or yourself. So they're not considered lies. They're not allocated in the good, bad. There's neutrality. We always explore with neutrality. Otherwise, you don't achieve the growth. You stay in the divide. The conflict essentially is your inner world perceiving the outer world with specific things that have been given to us. So it's always a starting point. And as you move forward with being yourself, that's where things change in the way that you're able to always see immediately growth, meaning you sense it. So, takeaway one, ego self, those emotional behavioral responses, they're both, you can approach them with ego, self love. So, we treat the ego with the self, we don't separate it. And we use unconditional love towards your person, humanity, and the unknown elements of life, which is where we get to takeaway two, trusting in life, building it with self-empowerment from the heart. And I have notes, guys, so apologize. I'm looking down every now and then to refresh my memory since sometimes, it's a challenge. The self-empowerment from the heart is very different from a self-empowerment that is directed always with the external inputs and not your sense of security, sense of flow that you can only build as you practice paying attention to the body element, that nervous system and brain that function together. We discuss it again on the podcast episodes for anybody who is not a part of the tuning in, but if you tune into even just one of the episodes, you'll get some foundation and you can always reach out. As you approach any area of fear with what's to come, by allowing you to know as a human you have secondary consciousness, it's normal that you are aware of tomorrow. And so you allow yourself to bring it to a neutrality instead of getting on your case about being worried or concerned or thinking, which is usually the way that many aspects with trust in life get approached, is to try and give strength. If you instead realize you don't need strength, there's nothing that life is not against you. If you allow yourself to be the leader from the heart with life by acknowledging that not knowing for any human being creates a situation of immediate defense mechanism because the unknown is like walking into a dark room. So trusting in life walks alongside your ability to trust in yourself, which brings us to takeaway three, believing in yourself. And that is ongoing by the acquisition of that flow. The flow from your body, then it's a flow that you choose to bring to your heart as you get the mind to stay in a state of calm and you navigate through that mind that is always living for you the things that you're dealing with. On Sunday, we discussed dealing with being right and how if you focus on you and your life, and then with the external people and life, you coexist. You acknowledge they're not a part of your being. So, sensorially speaking, you are interacting on a sensorial, emotional, and mental level with the external. Before you get to the depths of you, there are all those mental and emotional layers with the human elements, the essence of you elements, the unknown of life elements. They're not hard or mysterious because they're part of your life from the moment you were born. It is you enabling you to be the empowered individual. So that ego self, it's connected to various aspects that come from when you're a child. They come from your environment. They come from your experiences. It's not good or bad if you allow yourself to be in that place of neutrality, as Carl Jung puts it, that ability for an individual from their consciousness to stay in this neutrality space, so looking at two opposites and or more, without judging or condemning anything. It allows transcendent function is the term he coined and uses, and this is that leap of consciousness. It's you allowing yourself to navigate areas that are emotionally and sensorially speaking, they bring forth emotions. That's the fear and that's the trust in life as well as the trust in yourself. You will always find answers from the external. But it is once you allow yourself to go within and work with the emotions, bring the love, that you become empowered. And what you take away from the external, you actually implement more and more for a certain amount of time. At a certain point, you become completely independent, meaning you still go gain knowledge because everybody can always contribute, since that's the whole point, coexistence. We contribute to each other's lives. But there's a difference when you are inclined to coexist versus compete. And ego self is at the core of it, but not in a divisive way. It's in a way simply of wanting your attention, your neutrality, your love, and you being able to say, I can be myself, I believe in myself, and allowing yourself to know that others have the same situation to deal with a lot. So I look forward to hearing from you guys, and for anybody again that is new, you can tune into the podcast episodes to find out more. See you again next week.